Gonna go ahead and stamp this. I'm just gonna eyeball it to get this, try to get the center. And I'm using my Memento black ink. Okay. We're going to be doing a little bit of watercoloring today, and for that I'm going to be using my Distress inks. I have not tried this technique before, so we'll see how it works out. Right now I have my acrylic block and I have my Distress inks chosen. This is Spun Sugar, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them right on my acrylic block for now. This purple is glazed lilac, shaded lilac, excuse me. Peacock feathers. And mustard seed. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick up the color off of this acrylic block using my water brush, and we're going to be watercoloring on the diamond. I'm going to start with the pink just because it's the very lightest color. See what it does here. One of the reasons I chose to do watercoloring is I don't want this to look too perfect. I want it to look a little bit messy. And I'm going to try to stick with the same color while I'm using it. Do all the areas that I'm wanting before I move on to the next color. I put a little bit more of the Spun Sugar on my block here. Okay, I'm going to clean my block off. I love the way the colors blend, which you probably can't see quite yet, but I'm going to go ahead, let's see, I think I'm going to put this aside for right now, and I'm going to look at, this is the stamp set that came with the kit, and we're going to decide which one to use. The Hooray one looks pretty cool. I'm trying also to decide if I wanted to use the ring to make it look like a ring, but that's crazy. That's way too big of a diamond for this ring. So I think we're just going to use the Hooray. And for this I'm going to use a silver embossing powder. This is a sterling silver embossing powder, and I'll use my Versamark ink, which is right here. Ink it up really well. I didn't line this up on my stamp, which would have made more sense, but go ahead and stamp it. I'm pressing down really well. Looks like we have good contact from what I can see. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle my silver embossing powder over top of this. This is sterling silver by Stampin' Up. And what I'm doing, I'm just carefully putting a little extra on in spots because when I flick it, a whole bunch came off, more than I would like. And that looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heat up my tool, my heat tool, before I go to the paper with it so that it's nice and hot and only spends a very short amount of time on the paper. Alright, that looks marvelous. You see how shiny that is? Beautiful. Okay, I wonder if I can go back and do a little bit of my spun sugar stamp now. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit more of my spun sugar just on the top of that diamond there, in the one area that isn't very colorful. Okay, that looks better. I'm going to go ahead and use picked raspberry to put a little edge around my card here. A little colored edge. So I'm going to ink it up with my tool, and I'm just going to slightly edge it here. I just want to give a little bit of an ink color. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mat it, give it a very, very, very thin mat of black cardstock, and I will be right back. I went ahead and matted this on Smoky Shadow cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to put two little notches in my card. Okay, and I've got some silver thread I'm going to go ahead and tie. going to go ahead and tie the bow. This ribbon likes to slip, so I'm going to definitely have to glue it down. And for that I'm going to use my matte multi-medium. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, and then I'm going to set it aside for a few minutes to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and use this block. And one of the last things I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some rhinestones. So I'm going to go ahead and I can start doing that now. I'm going to use these rhinestones. These are Recollections, which I believe are Hobby Lobby brand. Oh, Michael's brand. So we're just going to add a couple of these for even more sparkle. A couple of these smaller ones. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and allow this to dry. I'm going to finish putting the rhinestones on and we'll finish the card. We're going to go ahead and finish up the sentiment on the inside of the card, and I'm going to use a little bit more of the stamps from the stamp set. Just using the Memento black ink now. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then we can finally finish the card. Okay, there's the inside. Here's the card panel, the front panel that we've been working on. And I have a turquoise card base we're going to use for this. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. Okay, and for the inside. Alright, for the last accent, I'm going to go ahead and add some glossy accents to the diamond, and then we'll let it sit and dry. And this takes about a half hour to dry. Okay, just need to make sure that blends in, which it did. I've got a tiny little air bubble here. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and I'll show you the finished card once it's done. Thanks for watching.